Hello and welcome to the United Forum. This is your latest Manchester United news, transfer news updates, and your opportunity to voice your opinion now for the very first time in Sri Lanka. Uh, I know I'm a little late tonight. It's been a long weekend, to be honest, and in fact, a long Sunday. Had some work early on. Did come home a little late, and now Formula One. The first race was tonight, so I did want to watch the full race since it was the first race, and man, what a race that was! Well, I could say what I could say you as a Ferrari fan is that the horses are back. Ferrari is back, and what a race! Pole position, both drivers coming first and second. Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz. Let's stick to the Manchester United content. Actually, nothing much to give you tonight, but a bit of news, a bit of interesting news. And yeah, let's talk that United. So before I do start off, do give me a minute here while I get this shirt up. Do excuse me here. Actually doing a bit of work. Yeah, so the interesting news I've got you is Manchester United actually getting Ten Hag, like you did read? Is Erik Ten Hag coming to Manchester United? A bit of an update from that for you as well. And apart from that, I've also got an update on a few players who will be leaving Manchester United this coming summer, and also an update on Paul Mitchell. Will he become Manchester United's next director of football? Is the question. A few updates also on Pochettino, Chouameni, and also the renovation at Old Trafford. To start off with Paul Mitchell's situation at Manchester United. Now, interestingly, a few weeks back, we did see a photo, in fact, a picture of Paul Mitchell and Ralph Rangnick at the under 18 games, if I'm not wrong. I'm not quite sure if it was the under 18s or under 23, but we did see a picture of Ralph Rangnick and Paul Mitchell together. Now, if I'm not wrong, it was today or last night that Paul Mitchell did leave Monaco, where he was the current director of football as Monaco, if I was not wrong, and he did leave Monaco on mutual consent. Mind you, he left Monaco on mutual consent, and he was not sacked. So just get to the confirmation on that. To give me a minute. Get you information on that as well. Paul Mitchell. Oh dear. Where are you? Do hold up. This is taking a bit of time. Is that a heathen? Yeah. So as I told you, I think it was last night. I'm not quite sure. I'm finding it difficult to get the confirmation. Yes. In fact, he is set to part ways with Monaco, and that too on a mutual consent. He has not been sacked. In fact, he is leaving Monaco on mutual consent, and he has not been sacked by AS Monaco. Now, as Man United men say here, in fact, this is from Manchester Evening. It says Paul Mitchell's close friendship with Manchester United boss Ralph Rangnick, as he is with Ralph Rangnick, yeah, boss, as he is linked to Monaco exit, is what the headline say. And now this is with a picture of Ralph Rangnick and Paul Mitchell, which did which was taken a few weeks back. And to further elaborate on that, as AS Monaco sporting director Paul Mitchell is reportedly set to leave the club after they lost to Braga in the Europa League. It reports that Monaco's club president Dimitri Frivolev is ready to part company Ribov in fact is ready to part company with Paul Mitchell, but it is unclear at this stage when he will be leaving the club is what we've got. So yes, Paul Mitchell is definitely leaving AS Monaco. Now the interesting thing, like I told you, we did see Paul Mitchell along with Ralph Rangnick a picture together a few weeks back. Now it's interesting that he had he definitely had a conversation there, and the fact that it is interesting is because he had a conversation with Ralph Rangnick, and a few days later you see him facing the exit at AS Monaco. So is that a hint saying that he might turn out to be the next director of football at Manchester United? Because Manchester United did come out and say that they are looking for another director of football to be working under John Murtough. In fact, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. And also now the fact that Paul Mitchell is being linked to Manchester United as the next director of football, who will be working alongside John Murtough. The interesting thing is that Paul Mitchell's history speaks for itself. He has been working with he has been at Southampton, later on at Spurs with Pochettino. Now is the arrival of Paul Mitchell to Manchester United, which is not confirmed now. This is just a hypothetical basis. If Paul Mitchell is coming to Manchester United, does this mean that Manchester United is coming, in fact, going for Mauricio Pochettino as the next manager because of their close link up? Or is it just that Ralph Rangnick and Paul Mitchell's close relationship that is creating this links, or is it in fact the fact that Mauricio Pochettino might turn out to be the next manager at Manchester United? I've not got actually any definite answer on that as well. It will be interesting to see what happens. And like it has been told everywhere this week, these 7 days is going to be key for Manchester United as well, because within these 7 days is when Manchester United will finalize their manager for next season. Mind you, Manchester United want to finalize their manager for next season before the end of this season, so that the next manager can already have a close look on the squad and what he needs for next season and how the next transfer window is going to be. So it will be interesting to see what happens. Is Paul Mitchell actually coming to United because Mauricio Pochettino is going to be United's next manager, or is Paul Mitchell just going to come to United just because of his close relationships with Ralph Rangnick? And will we see that happening? Because we have seen Paul Mitchell working with Ralph Rangnick at Red Bull Leipzig as well. So it is really not something new. It will be interesting because it balances out on both sides, be it Rangnick and be it Mauricio Pochettino. I think I would love to see it because his close relationship with Ralph Rangnick, and not the fact that Mauricio Pochettino will be arriving to Manchester United anytime soon, because I think PSG did lose their game against Monaco today. If I'm not wrong, it was against Monaco 3-0 as well. So hopefully Pochettino is not sacked. But what I did get is that Mauricio Pochettino is saying at Paris Saint-Germain, and he encourages the club staff and the others to work on proper planning and something of some a few things at Paris Saint-Germain, which I'm not quite sure of. That's none of my concern, because I'm least concerned about Paris Saint-Germain, and I'm least concerned about Mauricio Pochettino, because the last person I want as Manchester United manager is Poch. Now mind me, let's just get my charger connected here. Warning for battery. That's better. So like I told you, it will be interesting to see what actually happens. And this week, these 7 days are going to be key for Manchester United, especially in selecting the next manager for next season. It's definitely Erik ten Hag, in my opinion. I really want Erik ten Hag to be the next manager for Manchester United. I think he is the right manager to build and rebuild Manchester United. He's done it several times at several locations in Ajax as well. During the era where Ajax did come to the semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League and was knocked out against Spurs, and also he rebuilt that team once again. Once many key players like the Delights, however you wish to pronounce that, the De Jongs, the Van de Beeks, and many other players left. and he rebuilt that squad once again, bringing Tadic, the Sebastian Hollers, Alvarez, the Gravenbergs, the Mazeruais, or whoever it is at that squad currently as well. So yes, he has been rebuilding squads at X. So I think at United he just simply somewhat has to do the same thing. It's just that the expectations are high, the standards are higher, and the squad and players you can get are better as well. So it's just a bit of an extra mile where he has to run, but somewhat the same job he has to do, and that is why I would go at Ten Hag. And the fact that he's done a good job with the Ajax squad, where the budget is quite low and your resources are limited comparing to Mauricio Pochettino, who has been at Spurs, at Paris Saint-Germain with the super team once again being relegated, in fact relegated, goodness sake, eliminated at the round of 16. Poch is really not my manager. I would prefer not to talk about him, but I think Erik Ten Hag is the right man for Manchester United. A few weeks back, I would have loved to got Zinedine Zidane, Carlo Ancelotti, or even Antonio Conte. But look at the squad now. There are about five players who definitely want to leave, namely Paul Pogba, Eric Bailey, Jesse Lingard, Anthony Martial, Dean Henderson. In fact, six, and Edinson Cavani added up to that as well. Pogba, his agent, did come and say it's time for him and Manchester United to look for change as well. And there are a few rumors saying that Paul Pogba wishes to see what the new project is at Manchester United and then see if he really needs to look for options apart from Manchester United. Eric Bailey seems to be leaving United as well. Jesse Lingard is definitely leaving. He couldn't get his move to Newcastle in the winter window, so he definitely wants to move on in the summer since he has not been getting any game time. Martial is looking for something new. He's at Sevilla at the moment. I'm not quite sure if he's actually enjoying life, but he definitely does not want to return to Manchester United. Henderson wasted 2 years of his career at United at the bench, couldn't really make any appearances. I think he would look out of Manchester United as well. Edinson Cavani is, I think, I really don't have to give an explanation on Edinson Cavani. He is definitely looking for options already. He's already been approached by a few clubs. He is leaving Manchester United by the end of this season. So it's a complete revamp. I would actually love to do a complete overhaul of that Manchester United squad. Apart from sending away Rafael Varane, Cristiano Ronaldo, and David De Gea, those are the only three players, along with Bruno Fernandes, to make it four players I would keep at United. And apart from them, I would actually build that squad around them. You've got a goalkeeper, you've got a defender, a midfielder, and a striker up front. And I would actually create a squad surrounding them. I think Marcus Rashford should be sold as well. Make good money off him while you can, because he just doesn't seem to be putting his efforts up there. Just seems to be a player who does not will who does not seem to be willing to track back and work hard on the pitch. You can't work hard on the pitch. You've got to leave Manchester United. Beat Marcus Rashford, beat Cristiano Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes, David De Gea. If you can't work hard at Manchester United, you've got to leave. Because at Manchester United, the minimum you need is to be working hard. And if you can't be doing that, you've got to leave. So that's it about Paul Mitchell. That was the update. The next manager, like I told you this week, is key for the next manager. United also looking for a director of football to work alongside John Murtough. And like I told you, Paul Mitchell seems to be the man as well. His records at Leipzig, Southampton, Spurs seems to as well. And he's in Monaco, and his latest recruit being Chouameni. I think you get Paul. What United should be doing right now is get Paul Mitchell to United. Make him the director of football alongside John Murtough. John Murtough being the second man, since Paul Mitchell is far more experienced in this role and he knows what he is doing. He has transformed clubs as well, the likes of Leipzig, Southampton, and the club before Southampton really can't remember as well. And now at Monaco, finding players like Chouameni. So he's got a good eye for talent as well. I think United should definitely get him immediately after he leaves Monaco. Get him, make Murtough the second man, the first man being Paul Mitchell himself. Get Chouameni to Manchester United because he is a defensive midfielder. And afterwards, who you have to go get. You've got plenty of options, be it the strikers, the wide players, the defenders, the fullbacks. You've got plenty of options out there, so you really can go. United need to start completely from scratch as well, from head to toe. They've got to start everything as well, throw away everything. Just like you know, I think Ferrari would be the perfect example. The 3 years back, uh, they were doing quite good. They were caught out for something. That season went bad. The season after that was okay. And last season they came on fifth, sixth, and somewhere around they were hovering around those positions. And now this season they finally got a good car and they seem to be contending for that championship. It's just got to be like that. What a rebuild is actually is a minimum of 3 years. In present football, long term is 3 years. Short term is basically 1 to 2 years. 1.5 years. Long term in football, present football, modern football is 3 years and not more than that. If you can't do anything with the squad you've got within 3 years, you've got to leave, you've got to look for new options. The perfect example for that in footballing terms is Chelsea. You look at Chelsea, they sack managers quite a lot as well. They give the manager 3 years time, you win your trophies, you don't, you leave, next manager comes in. He gets a trial, he does well, alright, you stay, you have 3 years, keep bringing trophies, you don't, you leave. So that's what happened at Chelsea as well. You've got to have that system at United because you can't be looking for long term right now. We have not had a trophy for more than almost 5 years now. In fact, 5 years you need to be winning a trophy. So you really can't be looking for a period way longer than 3 years, because if you are going to take 3 years with Ten Hag to build that squad, you've not won a trophy for 5 years. Adding the 3 years Ten Hag is going to be building that United squad, it's going to be 8 years without a trophy, and only on the third trophy you could say that Ten Hag should be challenging for a trophy. That's 8 years without a trophy. And if Ten Hag doesn't work, you had 3 more years for that rebuild. It becomes 11, and it goes on and on and on and on and on and like on and on like that, just like a cycle, creating loads and loads of years without a trophy. So the longest long-term project should for United should be a 3 year uh, span of time, and the shortest short-term project should be at least a minimum of 1.5 years. So like I told you, Paul Mitchell's situation, like I told you, he has to, Manchester United have to get him as soon as he is sacked from Monaco. Get the transfers. I think we should start with Chouameni. His latest recruitment at Monaco definitely knows him as well. So promise him, give him a promising project, and he'll definitely come to United. I think, like I read on Twitter today as well. I'm not quite sure who said it, but what it did say is when a club like Manchester United come knocking, you definitely don't want to miss that opportunity, even if the club is in a mess, was what the quote did say. I really can't remember who did say that, but that is what Manchester United is. That's how rich Manchester United are. They are in their history. So players like Chouameni could easily come to United just like that, even if the club is in a mess. So I think we should go for Mitchell, get Chouameni in at defensive midfielder. If it's not for Chouameni, try for other defensive midfielders. The Wilfred Ndidi, Ruben Neves, the Declan Rice is a little too expensive for me an option. To be honest, if I was the director of football of Manchester United, as much as the talent Declan Rice is, I wouldn't go close to him, because I really do think that price tag for Declan Rice is way too much, and you could buy two players with that money. So I really wouldn't put that 125 million into waste. Would spare that on two other players. You could go for cheaper options. And I definitely do think a director of football like Paul Mitchell, with his consultant Ralph Rangnick, could do a better job and get us two better players for 125 million without just getting us only Declan Rice. So that's what I would go for. That is my opinion. Apart from that, Paul Pogba, Eric Bailey, Lingard, Martial, and Henderson are definitely to leave in Manchester United. And finally, getting to is the Old Trafford renovation. Now, mind you, the Old Trafford Stadium will be under renovation, extending its capacity at least to 85,000 is what I've heard as now. The total cost for this is around 400 million is what we've heard. The renovations will not interrupt any games at Old Trafford. It will take place in phases, so it won't interrupt or be a hindrance to any game played at Old Trafford. So that is the latest updates to you as well. So United Stadium, Old Trafford, will be renovated and extended to a capacity of 85,000. Apart from that, let me just have a look on your latest Manchester United updates for you just before I wrap the show up, because that's pretty much it for tonight as well. A short show, nothing really much to give you, but I bet you I could give you quite a lot on next Friday, because like I told you, this week is going to be vital for Manchester United. So the latest updates for you is Here we go. Here we go. And minus. Hold up. Uh, let's with his comments about Calvin Phillips. So Gary Neville has basically, now this is from my blog page. I'm not quite sure how reliable this source is. I wouldn't actually say it is reliable, but it is from a source. It says that, not quite sure how reliable in fact it is. Says that Gary Neville sends a message to Manchester United players with his comments about Calvin Phillips. Is your latest on that as well? And that's pretty much it. I haven't really got any news for you on Manchester United. Uh, in fact, yeah, that's it. And also, yes, just before I wrap the show up, this happened 1 hour back. Information from Fabrizio Romano. Manchester United complete the signing of talented midfield Toby Collier. This midfielder is in fact born in 2004. For their youth team confirmed, Collier joins Man United from Brighton. 3.5 year deal completed at Manchester United. Mind you, this player did captain the under 18 England team as well. And that's pretty much it, considering Manchester United tonight. Quite a very short show as well. Nothing really surrounding United apart from the rumors of a director of football in Paul Mitchell, Erik ten Hag becoming the next manager. Hints on that as well. And yes, reminding you about that. Erik ten Hag, I totally forgot about this man now. Erik ten Hag is the current manager of Ajax, which you already know. And tonight, Ajax did win their game 3-2 on a title race against Feyenoord, with Anthony scoring the winner in the 86th minute. Now, when Ten Hag was asked about the Manchester United rumors, the fact that he did not deny it is quite interesting. Now, Erik ten Hag on Manchester United links for next season. I'm just focused on this season. All energy is being put into the current squad. I don't think about next season. I want to get the maximum out of the current season with Ajax, is what Erik ten Hag has to say. Now, the interesting thing is that Ten Hag, when asked something which is not true, he normally denies it and says it right in front of him. No fairy tales, like I told you. No fairy tales. If it is a false rumor, he denies it directly. And the fact that he has not denied the links to Manchester United is an interesting fact, because he is linked to United definitely and might be eyeing for the job, because he too is looking for that next big move in his career. He worked under Pep Guardiola at Bayern Munich for about 2 to 3 years, if I'm not wrong, and later on did move on to Ajax, if I'm not wrong, or did he move to a few other clubs? I'm not quite sure, but he did work under Pep Guardiola at Bayern Munich. We know some other manager who is doing quite well this season, who did work under Pep Guardiola and is now on the 4th place as well, and that is Mikel Arteta. Now, if you look at what Arsenal did with Mikel Arteta, is quite an example of what Manchester United should be doing. Now, Arteta started about 3 years back along with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, if I'm not wrong. The interesting thing is that the board backed Arteta. I know the board backed Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well, but you shouldn't be saying that they completely backed them, because all his targets were different targets. All he wanted the likes of Erling Haaland, Declan Rice, Jude Bellingham, and a few other players, which he did not get, and he got alternatives for them. Now, the fact with Arteta is Arteta had his philosophy, he had his ways, and in order to implement them at Arsenal, he wanted certain players out, players who were not willing to stick to his ways, stick to his methods, and be listening to him, players who had egos and arrogance. And Arsenal fully backed him, got the likes of Aubameyang out, got few other players out of the club as well, who Arteta did think that won't be part of the project and will not be helpful for United, for Arsenal, in fact. And you look at that squad now, it's full of young players, players who are willing to actually play for Arteta and his philosophy. I think that's exactly what United should be doing with Erik ten Hag as well. They should stick to him, stick by him. Move out all the players who are not willing to stick by his system and his philosophy. Get players who will play for him. Get players who will play for his philosophy under Erik ten Hag, and completely back his planning, and get all the other players out, be it the Ronaldos, the Rashfords, no matter who he is, on what caliber of a player he is, how many shirts he is going to get you sold, does not matter. You want this club back alive, you've got to do what you've got to do so that this club will get back to life. And I definitely think that is exactly what United should be doing with Erik Ten Hag, because he is an experienced man in doing what he does. And like I told you several times, I think that Ajax as well is just got to do some of the same job with the added bit of responsibility at United. That's pretty much it for tonight's show, folks. Quite a short show as well. Nothing really much to give you this week, but I promise you there'll be plenty of things to deliver to you next week on Friday at 10 p.m. It is still the international break, so as well, I'll definitely bring you the news next Friday, and do stay tuned on our socials for the latest updates as well, because within this week, is when United will confirm their next manager, is what I've heard so far as well. David Ornstein did come out and say that United's hunt for the next manager will soon be confirmed, and that would be most probably by these 7 days, since it is the international break. So watch out for that. Keep in touch with our socials as well. The links in the description. Follow us on IG as well. Once again, the links in the description. It's the United.forum username. You can go give us a follow there as well. And the link is also in the description. You can head on to the description and hit the link and give us a follow there as well. That's pretty much it for tonight, folks. You were once again live today for the Manchester United news show, another show full of news. Like I told you, I'm really sorry that I don't really have much to give you. There isn't really much to give you as well. And like I keep telling, the next 7 days United will be crucial, so keep in touch with all sources you've got, especially the United forum. You follow us on Instagram, and if you want, you can give us a subscribe, smash a like on the video, and share this video as well. And until I see you next week at 10 p.m. for the next show, this is the United forum. Have a good night and a blessed week.